Welcome to Wayne's Weird World. Today, not so onerous, a bit more wonderful. I'm going to remount this little orchid. It's called Dinema polybulbon. And I've already started very, very carefully lifting these roots away. Now, the way most people mount their orchids is either something like fence paling or cut slabs of man fern, or like this little one up here on cork bark. But I prefer to mount them a little bit more naturally, which is what I'm going to do. Now, I've been very lucky that I've broken very, very few of the roots on this one, and I think it's ready to lift off. Let's have yep. Oh, a couple more. That one's wrapped right around the back. And as you can see, I haven't broken too many. So I think I came out fairly lucky on this one. But if you can say, that's not the way I like to mount them. I want them a little bit more natural, and unfortunately this one doesn't quite do it. Unless you have orchids growing on the side of your house in a tropical environment, they're not going to be growing on things like this. They're going to be growing on things like this, which is what I'm going to do. Now, I've got fresh living sphagnum moss. Lovely stuff. Much better than the dead stuff. And what I'm going to do is lay it on there, not too thick. But first, I have to tie on my fishing line that I use for mounting. And I just do a series of little knots. Little backhand flick. Just to, you grab a hold of it, turn it, little backhand flick. It's basically forming a clove hitch. Yeah, Boy Scout, I know. But it's surprising how many applications I have for that knowledge of when I was a boy. Good stuff. And I can tuck it right in there. See, this will be a 360 mount. The only evidence is the wire that goes through, and you can just see where it pops out through the bottom, and I bend it over into a little hook and then push it back in. So that is going to be as natural as possible. Unfortunately, that little vine broke off, but once upon a time there was this lovely vine wrapping up. Let's see, move you over gently. So I'm just going to lay some piece. I like the longer ones. There we go. Now, the one advantage of the sphagnum moss is that it'll retain moisture a little bit longer without being waterlogged. There we go. Lay them on. Yeah, I think that's about right. Pop that out of the way. And start my wrapping. Now, if I can get it around in here, onto that branch, and then gently across. Whoops! Yeah, they don't have flat bottoms, and they do bounce around. Once I get the first few wraps, I'm usually, oh, I love that word almost as much as should. I usually find that they're okay. So I'll just pinch there. And across gently. Try and get it in between so I don't crush leaves too much. I just use the natural friction of the spool rather than pulling too tight. Now if you Google this little one, you'll find that they have brilliant little tiny delicate flowers. They're only about 1 inch across. Little tiny flowers. There, try to lay the roots down a little bit. And if I can get through here, again, try and get those down a little bit. There, that's better. Now let's see if I can get through here. The original mount, these little tails were hanging free, but I'd like them just to get a chance to anchor. And then maybe in a year I can snip the fishing line free. And the reason I use fishing line is that when I cut the fishing line, I can very gently tease it out with absolute minimum damage to the orchid itself. There. And I'll just wrap my way back up here again. My knees become a second set of hands. Little backhand knots. Oh. And that's tied off to where I don't even need any other knots. That's it. Put on your tags. There we are. I usually double tag because the plastic ones deteriorate and sometimes the metal one, it might get rubbed off. So if you have two, you're not going to lose out. I give it a little tiny bend so it lays more flat against the mount. And away we go. That's it. Dinema polybulbon on my 360 driftwood mount, and it can wrap itself around to its heart's content. Right, that's it. See you next time. Thanks for watching Wayne's Weird World.